Hello, hello, hello. Angel here. How are you doing? It's August, is it not? It totally is, which means it's time for August decks and intentions. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. If you're new, welcome to this space. My name is Angel. Did I say that? Can't remember. Yeah, anyway, more importantly, let's get into this. So you've heard of the old lady who lived in a shoe. She had so many kids, she didn't know what to do, right? Well, I'm an old lady who lives in a flat with 17 decks on my desk and 2 sleeping cats. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be a quiet video with no harping, no chirping. I'll pop some pictures in here of my kitty cats. Check out these two. Neither of them can sleep now without some fluffy blankets. Just FYI, those are my meditation cushions that I was supposed to have for myself. Yeah, that never happened. I'm never going to get those back, am I? Anyway, so on with August. Yeah, what are my plans for August? What are the decks I'm using? As I mentioned, I think I've got 17 on my desk. I really want to use them all. Am I worried about it? No, I'm not. If I don't get to them, I don't get to them. Let's talk about the ones that you may have seen in my July favourites video. First one is Under the Oak Tarot. And the second one is the deck that stands with this one, which is Brian Froud's Fairies Oracle. I'm going to just say that this is the energy I'm trying to embody this year, and especially in the month of August. So I'm going to pop that there. Right, are you with me? Yes, I think you are. Did I show the bags? I think I did. Yeah, I did. I'm sure I did. Okay, stop babbling. Let's get on with some cards. So I showed these in my July favourites, but I'm going to show a few cards now. Love these two. I'm not going to explain how I found the pairing of these two. I'm going to instead direct you, oh wait, that way, to my July favourites, which I'll link in the description box, so I don't have to, or don't bore you if you've already seen it. I'm just going to say I'm a total fan of these two. This is a deck that hadn't got a look in on my desk. Well, I can tell you it's certainly getting a look in on my desk now. I'm loving these two. And I don't know why now, in hindsight, I was so nervous about this deck. I mean, it's still early days. It could still totally, kick me in the bum. Please don't. Please continue being gentle with me. Two more, and then we're going to move on to the next deck, because I've got quite a few to be showing you today. Last one. Look at this. Oh, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, those were the first pairing. Did I mention what I'm going to be using those for? My inner heroine facet, which came through about 2 months ago. That's what these beauties are going to be used for. I've got a couple of others which are going to be tapping into the same energy. Let's do this. So as mentioned, this combination of decks are also going to be tapping into my inner heroine facet, the same energy that I want to embody, this Knight of Wands energy, this adventurous side of myself. You probably saw these in July favourites as well, but I'm going to have a quick flick through and show you anyway, because these two are rocking my world. So here we go. Here we've got the Rainbow Skull. I just want to show you for this, because this is so blooming gorgeous. You're going to notice a total theme with this month's decks, colour-wise. These are edged in, or gilded, sorry, in matte gold. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Let's flip some cards, because these two are magnificent together. I'm just having such a love affair with these two. And I think I mentioned in my July favourites that initially when I first got this deck out and took a look at it, I was like, I'm not sure about the artwork in it. It felt a bit not simple, but simple's the wrong word. I can't think of another word. If I come upon something fantastic in editing, I will write it on the screen for you. No, I can't think. But then afterwards, when I started working with it, I was like, yeah, no, I love it. I don't know why I was thinking it was too simple or too clean or too pared back. I don't know. But anyway, it's funny, isn't it? Or I'm going to speak for myself, because, I can only speak for myself. I get these initial impressions, and I like it when those initial impressions are turned on their head. So yeah, love these two. I mentioned before, I think this is going to be very versatile. I've only paired this with this deck so far. and accidentally with the Rainbow Moon Tarot and the Power Moon Tarot. But I'm working with these two specifically because I love them. They are fantastic. Yeah, I've got one last deck which you saw in July Favourites. I'm going to show you anyway. The Pasta Tarot. These are the backs. I blooming love this deck as well. I blooming love it. I so enjoy this deck. It's, you know, it came out last August as a wildcard deck, and since then it's popped in and out of my practice, and I've kind of found that it's what's the word? It's found its niche in my practice with this Knight of Wands and energy, this adventurous energy that wants to come forward. So that's what I'm using this for this month. I'm kind of using it in conjunction with the last two decks I showed you, the Adventure Tarot and the Rainbow Skull Oracle, but not as a pairing, kind of like in the same reading, but not, oh, it's a bit difficult to explain, more like as a clarifier. I'm going to say that. Love it. I absolutely LOVE it. Okay, let's move on to the decks that I haven't shown you within the last few weeks. Oh no, sorry, I'm semi-lying. I did show these last two in the last video. Apologies. Anyway, this is the Kawai Tarot. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Look at the edging I did on this beauty. I love it. Then we have the Rebel Heart Tarot, which is here. Look at the edging on this beauty. Are you seeing a theme yet? Are you seeing a theme? And then we even have this Oracle deck, which is a second-hand find. I found it on eBay quite a while ago. Strangely, I actually paired this one with the Uncommon Tarot because I find the Uncommon Tarot quite kind of like sharp or hard hitting, and I felt this Oracle kind of calmed it down a wee bit. Cat hair alert. Move that the way. Okay, so I haven't paired these. So I've paired these two, which I love, but I haven't paired them with an Oracle deck yet. So I'm thinking this one might work with these two. I don't know. But let's have a look. So we've got the Fool, we've got Sister Stella, and we've got the World. Oh my goodness me. Honestly, I'm tapping into my, I feel this month, my like inner child with all this colour. And if you've watched my July favourites, you'll know that I spent July and June actually looking into my practice and thinking, you know, about my practice and where I wanted it to go. And that kind of resulted in me opening the floodgate to allow colour into my life and to allow my fantasy self, myself in my wildest dreams to emerge. And so I've been, you know, pulling forward all these pastel rainbow colours, all these kind of colours into my living space. I love it. And it's kind of, what's the word, spilled out into my tarot and oracle practice, which I'm totally, you know, I'm along for the ride. Totally along for the ride. I think this is so beautiful. I just stumbled upon it accidentally on eBay, quite a few months ago, maybe a couple of years ago now actually. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. But I'm thinking these are going to work together. As mentioned, I have used the Kawai Tarot and the Rebel Heart Tarot, and I've gotten some really beautiful, comforting readings. And I just wonder if adding this I experienced a quite gentle oracle deck, you know, is just going to be a total winner. But we shall see in the month of August. I'm going to take two more cards, or two more combinations of cards. Here's the last one, and then we're going to be moving along. I adore this deck. Actually, I adore all these three. Oh, I think it's looking promising. Looking forward to this one. Okay, so that was the Heart Sisters Oracle, Kawai and Rebel Heart. Let's move this along. Okay, the next set of decks I'm so excited about working with in the month of August is a French deck, the Oracle of Whispers, and a second-hand copy that I was lucky enough to find in June. This is the Numinous Tarot. I found it on that super duper second-hand online shop that I you know, I'm a total fan of. And first of all, I was unsure if it was a fake deck. It came in this bag, and which I didn't know at the time once I when I purchased it, but there is a receipt from the Etsy shop in here. So it is a real deck. It's edged and everything, and it's obviously been loved because it's, you know, it's a bit dented or dinged up on the gold edging, but that's fine. I don't mind that at all. Let's grab this deck in. This is a French mass market deck. I've edged mine in pink and blue because I had to. I was forced to. And when I got the Numinous Tarot in, I, like, you know, had to look for the cards, and this artwork has totally reminded me of this artwork. I love this deck. I love the guidebook. I think it's fantastic. It's not like totally in depth, but it gives you exactly what you need, and it gives you some journaling prompts and all that malark, all the good stuff, And so I think these two are going to be, you know, a winning combination together. Haven't used Numinous Tarot. I planned to use it last month. I didn't get around to it. And so I'm really looking forward to working with it in August. This was not a deck that was on my radar, I'm going to be honest. But when I saw it on this second-hand shop, it was for £20. And they had misspelled the name of it. It was called the Numinous Tarot. So anybody searching for the Numinous Tarot would possibly not have found it, or maybe they would. Anyway, either way, it doesn't matter. It was sitting there with my name on it, waiting for me to press the buy button. And I did, because, you know, I had to. So this was my deck that came in for June. I think I was quite good in June. If memory serves correctly, I didn't bring any other decks in. But don't hold me to that, you know. I could be lying, but I don't mean to be. Okay, so as mentioned, I think these two are going to, like, you know, totally sing together. But I shall let you know in my August wrap up. So watch this space. Do you have this deck? Let me know what it's like. Let me know what kind of reader it is. I get a kind of very grounded, I'm going to say witchy kind of vibe from this, but that could just be me. But it totally feels like a witchy, like a, what am I trying to say? I'll put it on the screen to save you waiting and you know, doing this with your fingers while I find the words. Let's move on to the next combination. So then we have the Unfolding Path Tarot. This is the indie version, and the Unshakable Inner Peace Oracle cards. Now these are the decks, or especially this deck was the deck that I was feeling really drawn to work with in Leo season. So I've worked with this one already. I think it's the 4th of August today, if memory serves correctly. So we've already started in August, and I've already used these decks together, and they speak really nicely together, I've got to say. I love these. I haven't used them in such a long time because I haven't really felt drawn to this cosmic energy, and then suddenly, like that, I kid you not, I've been drawn to work with this deck. Anyway, so I love it because I love the key phrases on the cards. So this one says, you cannot make a mistake. There are infinite possibilities available to you. And then there's even a question, where is your heart guiding you? I think that's really fantastic. That means I don't have to go to the guidebook. I've got a fantastic jumping off point right there and there. Right there and there. Can I say that? It's too late. It's done. Love this deck. Haven't worked with it enough. I don't know why, because I love to shuffle it. It's absolutely amazing. So I don't really know what the problem is. But this is my favourite cardstock. And I really enjoy the artwork. So I don't really know what stopped me. I suppose it's just other decks that have spoken louder, which is a phrase that I've used very often the last couple of videos when I've been talking about the decks I don't pick up as much, or that don't call to me, or haven't found a place in my collection. So this one hasn't been out for a long time, and neither is this one. So it felt like it was time for a dusting off. It was time to get it out, to air it off, to give it some fun, to give it some play on my desk, and to give it a test run. One more. Love, 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 love. So I'm fingers and toes crossed. I'm going to continue putting this one for Leo season. Speaking of Leo season, let's move on to the next selection. So I think I mentioned a couple of videos back that I wanted to start tapping into the seasonal energy, So for instance, now we're in Leo season, and I pulled this one out for one of those recent videos I just mentioned, decks I'm not picking up or something like that, and this kind of really sparked my interest, and I was thinking maybe this would be good for Leo season. But then when I started looking at the cards, I totally got a Aries vibe, but it's still fire. It's still the fire season, so I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to run with it. So these two decks are the decks I'm using for Dawn Michelle's Fellowship of the Weavers practice for Hexa Tarot. This is the indie version, and Seasons of the Witch Lammas Oracle. This is my August new deck into my collection, and this feels like a no-brainer. Haven't used these two yet, but I think they are going to be a winning combination. These are the backs. I've edged mine in like this burnt orange colour. And I think I mentioned in one of those videos that I did recently when I spoke about this deck that I brought it into my collection for, look at this. I mean, hello, sorry, squirrel brain. I brought this into my collection to work with Melusina, which I then found a different deck for because this didn't feel like it matched her energy. And since then I haven't really used it. And then when I was filming that video, there was just some elements in the cards that really piqued my interest. And I'm going to just bring this to the here. It was like this kind of thing, which totally reminds me of Gustav Glimt's artwork, and I'm a real fan. And it's the same with, I'm just going to pull this card up as well here. Do you see this? And I don't think that's a coincidence. I have some artwork inspired by Gustav Klimt on my altar I'm looking at right now. I'm sitting right in front of my self-love altar, and it's like inspired by the picture or the painting The Kiss, but it's just me, myself and I in the artwork that I created, and that artwork is all about my relationship to self being the portal to wholeness for me. And I created that artwork around a reading that I received, which totally made me think of Gustav Klimt and the Kiss picture, and it sits on my altar as a constant reminder, which is all where my facets of self shadow work has come from. And you know, anyway, so yes, so what was my point? Oh, my point was oh lordy lord, that squirrel brain of mine. The point is that when I started seeing those details in the cards in this deck, it piqued my interest, and I was thinking, here we go again. I was just thinking, I need to get this deck out and use it. And then I was thinking Leo season's going to be great, but when I started looking through the cards more, I feel this has got more of an Aries energy. It feels really, what's the word I'm looking for? For me, it's got an Emperor energy to this deck, but that's just my personal opinion. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about my own experiences. So yeah, looking forward to delving in with these two. Slightly nervous about this one. This one I think is a bit sharp, but you know, it's all good. It's all good. I'm excited. So there we had the decks for the Fellowship of the Weavers practice. I think I've got one set of decks left. Goodness me, that went quickly, didn't it? Can that be right? Maybe it is. Yeah, I think I've got one set of decks left, which is like a new intention for the month of August. So a complete surprise, a surprise combination for the month of August. We've got Work Your Light Oracle cards, and we've got the Muse Tarot. I know, right? So I'm going to start by saying, let me just start by moving these out of the way. Start by showing you the revamped edging that I did on this beauty. Look at these. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Did it with a Sharpie. Love it. And I've edged these previously with a metallic blue pen. Anywho, so there was me saying a few weeks ago, oh, I'm not really drawn to cosmic decks at the minute, blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, suddenly it was like a switch has been flicked, as mentioned. So I'm feeling totally drawn to these kind of decks. Anyway, so I'm going to start by saying in July, I did a lot of walking. I'm going to continue by saying that I'm on holiday Mondays and Fridays, like 8 weeks in a row. So I get a long weekend. I only work 3 days a week at the minute. Love it, with 4 days off. Absolutely adore it. I want to continue doing that, please. If I could just win the lottery, that would enable me to do that. So yes, been doing a lot of walking, listening to a lot of YouTube whilst doing that. And I heard the term on two or three occasions, some reference to inner landscapes. which got me thinking about these 2 decks. I don't know why, but I was thinking about my inner landscape, and this speaks to me of my inner landscape because I've mentioned previously that this reminds me of like the hermit card, walking about in these landscapes, doing lots of inner reflective work, and that's where I feel I am. You know, that's what my inner landscape's about. It's all about me walking on my own in solitude, not, you know, not being lonely, but just in solitude, doing this reflective inner work. And then I felt really drawn to work with this deck. So yesterday, the day before, I pulled a card. Can these decks help me with my inner landscape work? I pulled this one first, the crumbling. What are you clinging to? Now, my inner landscape, I've been doing some inner garden work as well the last couple of months. And this totally feels like the tower. But this is like falling away and revealing that inner garden that's going on. And we've got the Hierophant. I mean, I was just like, yeah, and I obviously asked this deck the same question, and I got the Hierophant, and I was like, oh yes, I feel these totally can help me with this work. Sorry, do apologise, but we got there in the end. And so that's my plan for this month. The plan is to, you know, as well as working with my inner heroine, you know, standing at the edge of this portal, I am going to also look into my inner landscape, and this totally speaks to me of my inner landscape as explained. Now, I had a bit of an epiphany in July when I was doing some facet work. I was doing a spread about all of my facets of self that I've excavated. So that is my inner high priestess, my inner child, my inner wolf, my inner red bonnet, my inner witch. I missed one. Oh, my inner heroine, obviously. And I suddenly got this epiphany that all the decks that I've chosen for those, because I do have individual decks for each facet of self. So, for instance, for my inner wolf facet and my red bonnet facet, I use the Darkwood Tarot, obviously, which I'm sure if you've watched my videos, you'll know that. But my inner high priestess, I use the intuitive night goddess, because that's always spoken to me of like my higher self. And it suddenly occurred to me when I was pulling these individual decks and doing these spreads, that, which was kind of, should be obvious to me really, they totally reflect the facet of self that I'm working with. So my inner high priestess, so my higher self, let me just grab that deck so I can show you, to kind of explain what I'm talking about. They're sitting right here because all of my facets of self decks are here. And I kind of got this epiphany with this deck that my inner higher self is already sitting within my inner garden that's in total bloom. It's abundant, it's well nourished. And that had never occurred to me before. And then, for instance, my inner child deck is the Tower of Oneness, which I had never ever entertained as being my inner child deck. And then I got this out one month, can't remember when it was, last year sometime, and I got this deck out and it started talking to me of my inner child. And then when I was doing this spread with all the facets of self back in July, and was kind of had all the decks out on my desk, I suddenly realised that this is like this totally reflects my inner child, with the colours and, you know, the what can I say? What's the word I'm looking for? Like, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think. But I kind of got the epiphany that bringing, when I was speaking about in my July favourites about bringing in all the colour into my life and opening the floodgates for that, it kind of suddenly made me realise that I'm opening the door to each of the facets to speak to me. Oh, I feel I'm explaining that really badly. I'm sorry, I don't think I'm explaining that very well. But it just suddenly got me thinking of all the decks that my facets have come through on, totally relate back to that facet. I'm babbling. I'm going to continue on. So anyway, so yes. So either way, this is another facet of self, I'm going to say, which I'm going to be working with this month, getting back to the meat and the potatoes, which is the inner landscape. And obviously, you know, landscapes, I do have the Landscape Tarot, mass market, I think it's called the Landscape Tarot, but I was like, no, it needs to be this one, because this really reminds me of these individuals, these like facets of self in this landscape doing this inner reflective work. And I think it's because, we're saying there's two people in this card, but generally there is only one person in each of the cards, so it feels yeah, it totally embodies my facet of self, or this facet of self. I need to stop talking because I'm totally babbling. Look at this mirror. Who or what is triggering you? With the 6 of emotions, mind blown. Why did I just stop on that? That is very interesting. I need to do some journaling around that. Who or what is triggering you? There is no reflection. They're both of these figures are sitting with their backs, you know, looking outward. There is no reflection in that mirror. That's interesting. Or they're holding a mirror. And there's this figure as well. Who's this? Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me. I need to put these two aside. I'm totally sorry. I'm going to put this aside for later. I mean, you know, are these two not just speaking to each other? Let me know in the comment section what you think. Yeah, other plans for August. Let's get into that. My plan is to continue on with my own oracle deck this month. This was inspired by Mand at Mystic Mand. I'm going to link their video in the description box that initially inspired me. Got the creative juices flowing, and so I've got a whole list of keywords that I want to create cards for. So I'm not in any rush. I just, you know, create a card when I feel like it. And I really also want to read this book this month. I've dipped out of it, but I really want to, you know, really look into it properly. This was a second-hand find that I found on eBay. I was watching one of Candy's videos from Candy Soul and Soil, and they were speaking about this book again, and I was like, oh, I need to get that book out again. So yeah, so that's my plan for August. I'm feeling a bit, what's the word, kind of drawn to pull a wildcard deck for the month of August. What do we think? Should I? Why not? Do you recognise the sound? Here it is, here it is. If you don't know what this is, I will link a video where I first started off with this practice. I think it was actually a year ago. No, it was more than a year ago. I'm going to pull a prompt. I don't know what the prompt is until I open it, until you see it. You are as wise as I am at the minute. Oh, look at this. Use a Fae deck. Well, I'm already using Fae decks, am I not? I'm already using Brian Froud's deck and for Hexa Tarot. That feels like a sign. That feels like the choices were right for this month. Should I see if I can find one last Fae deck? Let me go and take... Whoops. Let me go and take a look. Bear with. And I'm back. Opened my tarot shelf, and this was the first one that really, you know, was waving at me to get my attention. This is the Pink Snake Tarot, I want to say it's called. These are the backs, which totally remind me of a portal. Does it not? Like a keyhole, looking through a keyhole, which totally feels relevant to the whole inner heroine facet of self, I've got to say, which is what made me feel drawn to this. These are the cards. Let me just do this. Let me move this out of the way. Should we, what's the word? What's the word? Let's move in a little bit. Okay, there we go, a little bit closer. So this does not follow the Rider-Waite-Smith. And I, initially when I first got this, I bought it without opening it and seeing the cards. So when I opened it, I was like, I'm not sure I like the borders. But now I think of the borders as this, I thought this is a portal. So I'm totally in it for the borders. And as mentioned, it's not Rider-Waite-Smith. This to me feels like a trickster energy. I don't know if that's the case, because I've never worked with it. So it would possibly be, you know, a great month and a great deck to use. Do we not think? I mean, look at this. Ooh, does it not give me the heebie-jeebies? It gives me the heebie-jeebies. In fact, the whole deck gives me the heebie-jeebies, if I'm honest. It does give me a Sweet Twilight vibe. I've said it before in a different video. Look at this, another portal. This like wormhole going on. Oh, I like it. And this High Priestess gives me a like whole devil feel with the, I don't know, maybe not. Nope, scrap that, scrap that. It's going to be interesting to work with this one. The question is, oh, hello. The question is this going to go with the Facets Tarot or the Brian Froud? I don't know, because that means it's going to have to pair with or work with the Under the Oak Tarot. Oh, I'm going to have to pair those ones. Dare I do it now? Do I dare? Oh, all right then. All right then. You've twisted my arm. So off camera, I'm just going to say I just pulled both the card for this deck and this deck. I think I mentioned in July, my July favourites, that this one didn't want to be paired with anything, but and the Brian Froud, I feel like it deserves a lot of respect and a lot of reverence. So these two, I got an inspirational hit that they wanted to, you know, work alongside each other. So I don't feel that they are a pairing, but they are happy to work together in readings and for this practice of the inner heroine. So this is the deck I pulled. This is the card I pulled, asking if it would be happy to work with the Pink Snake Tarot. And this is what it read in the guidebook. Currently, both fairy and this world are functioning as a giant mirror in which we see ourselves in many surprising ways. Do you remember this card pull? Or this that caught my eye a few seconds ago? I mean, hello. So I'm kind of taking that as yes, that there's some kind of synchronicity going on and there's a message I need to see in the cards. Then I pulled a card for the same question. Would this deck want to work with the Pink Snake Tarot? And I pulled Death. Not sure. I'm going to hesitantly pull some some cards and see how we're feeling. This feels like a loaded moment, honestly. The energy is very interesting. I don't think I've ever felt so what's the word? Oh, it's like crackling, the energy around me. It's very fizzy, but more like crackly. I'm nervous. I'm very nervous. We're not going to take two more. And there's noises going on around me, which is not in my apartment because there's nobody here apart from myself, myself and I. So it's probably just happening in the apartment below me, but it's still making me a bit nervous. I'm kind of feeling it. I'm really feeling it. Let me know in the comment section. Dare I use these decks together? I mean, is there not just something in this? Feeling it's a yes, but I don't want to, you know, what's the word? Rushing, guns are blazing. We're going to take two more and then we're going to wrap this up because this has suddenly become a very long video and it was not the meaning. Apologies to you. I totally feel like this has got something to say, this deck. And I feel that I feel like they've all got something to say. These two are a little more, what's the word? Subtle in the messages that they want to convey. This one wants to do it, you know, in my face. No holes barred. Wait, what? No holds barred is the word the expression I'm looking for. I think we're gonna keep it there. I mean, hello, I had an amazing experience with this card, which I was going to speak about recently, but I didn't. I'm going to stop babbling. I'm going to switch off my squirrel brain, and I think I'm going to start working with these straight away when I turn off the camera. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Let me know which decks you're using in August. Let me know which pairing appeared to be the most, you know, exciting or interesting to you. Let me know what you're working with in August. Otherwise, have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Take care. Hope to see you next time. Toodaloo.